Larry, thank you for joining us. Tell us, if you will, about 95-year-old Doyle Aaron Austin.
Thank you, Ron, for having me. Mr. Austin was a resident of Acres Home in Houston, Texas, a former Negro League baseball player, and he passed away because of hypothermia in his home because the power was cut out and he did not have any other means of keeping warm.
And did we not see that those who were most impacted by this blackout are people like Mr. Austin and others who already were in some ways marginalized?
And so that community is a rich community of Black and brown individuals, a strong minority culture there. But like you said, because of the lack of care, whether it's infrastructure, whether it was organization and rolling out, but we do know that for the lack of weatherization and upkeep of equipment, these blackouts happen.
And I'm wondering to what degree you'll be able to pull evidence together that shows what we've only heard anecdotally, that some of those lower income zip codes had the power off first, they had the power off longer, and they suffered the most.
We definitely believe that the energy companies knew that this was going to be a problem. They knew that these communities could potentially be hit hard and that they should have done something about it.
And this was preventable had the grid been stronger. We've learned that. Even the governor has acknowledged that. Board members have resigned. But we need to explain to people how it's set up. So ERCOT produces the power, right? And then you have transmission companies that take that power and send it out to homes. We heard Encore, for example, say this was to some degree out of their control. They can't distribute power they don't have. So in your lawsuit filed on behalf of this family, CenterPoint Energy, being one of those electricity transmission companies, is named. Where is the shared responsibility in that? Can they make a case there's nothing they could do as a transmission company?
And let me say this, Ron, this is actually the people's lawsuit. I know that there's been discussions about sovereign immunity, but we believe that this case should be tried before the people in front of a jury of the peers in Texas, that Texas citizens should hear directly from these energy companies what took place and why they were affected.
But again, this is a community where they're stretched thin on resources. It got down to 11 degrees outside, 40 degrees inside his home. So here is a man who had all this support and all these people doing what they could based on what they had to give. And now you're coming forth with a lawsuit that is affording this family the opportunity maybe to get some justice that will help others. But I think about all of the people who were alone in their homes, who didn't have the friends and family, and who don't have the representation. What do we do for them?
And they would need to seek out legal assistance or through other means as far as nonprofit organizations to see what help is available. I know that Mr. Austin's story is horrible. Unfortunately, I've heard so many stories that are just as horrific. You know, people dying because they couldn't get dialysis because there was no electricity. People also dying in their homes alone, even though they were as warm or wrapped up as possible and dying on their floor. And so, you know, our clients right now have a wide range of causes or ways that they died, but one cause, and that's because they didn't have power and electricity.
Yeah. Well, Larry Taylor, thank you for bringing this case to light, for sharing it with us. We'll follow it closely, and we'll follow up with you as it proceeds. And we hope that what it does is, for his family, it says to them that he didn't die in vain, that maybe this will bring about real change.
Thank you. Thank you, Ron, and I hope so too.